These are the Sunday recommendations for Patreon subscribers for October 21st, 2018. This week's blog post is the fourth in my series From Portraits to Puddles. It's on the East Coast Memorial. If you look dead center on the picture at the top, you can see the Statue of Liberty. Second recommendation, Cash McCall, 1960 movie. James Garner stars as a business tycoon who buys and fixes ailing companies. Natalie Wood is the woman he tried not to fall in love with. Text on the poster is misleading but amusing. This is not a movie that's going to change your life, but it may change your mood. Third recommendation, Cameron Hawley's Cash McCall, the book, 1955. Like Hawley's Executive Suite, which I recommended a few weeks ago, Cash McCall is set in the business world of the 1950s. Also like Executive Suite, the book is better than the movie. I enjoyed Cash McCall even more than Executive Suite, partly because the main character is very appealing, and partly for the discussions of such issues as mergers and acquisitions, the effect of restrictive tax laws, anti-business professors at business colleges, and the legal versus the moral. These discussions are always relevant to the plot and are always presented not as the author's third-person comments, but as the thoughts or conversations of the characters. Hawley does a great tease for the lead character, which is reflected in these covers. Until about a third of the way through the book, we hear only what other characters say about him. And even after that, we only gradually learn what he does and why. Here's a quote that might tip you to read it from two men who are discussing Cash. Quote, "If you're asking me to agree that he could be a great success as an industrialist, I'm quite willing to concede that he has the essential requirements: courage, imagination, a capacity for leadership, everything except one necessary qualification." And the other man asks, "What's that?" And he replies, "The desire. It isn't what he wants." And from a woman, quote, "His was a living face, the mirror of a mind unshackled by convention, soaring its own free course without apology for freedom, regarding pleasure not as a frivolity to be grudgingly tolerated, but as something organically linked to life itself, not as weakness, but as a strength, not as a contradiction of power, but as the proof of its existence." End of quote. Incidentally, in this book published 2 years before Atlas Shrugged, the hero flies his own plane and owns a gorgeous home hidden away in a remote valley that he owns. And the fourth recommendation, Henry Kitchell Webster's The Ingredients. This was first published in 1912. Aside from Webster's sense of life, I enjoy the fact that I never quite guess where his stories are going to end up. It might help in this one, I feel a lot of history in your art history in your head especially, if you focus not on trying to guess what Burton's paintings look like, but on the traits of character that he and his visitor value. I'm giving this story to you as a PDF or as a video. For more on Webster, see my blog post. There's a link to that in the Sunday recommendations. To join the Sunday recommendations list, if you haven't already, visit the URL on screen or email me. You can also support me starting at $5 per month or follow me for free on Patreon. And check out DianeDuranteWriter.com for hundreds of posts on sculpture, painting, Central Park, and my other obsessions. Thank you for listening.